Hey guys, Kyle from YWT here, back with another Flyers post-game recap. Poor effort tonight. We're going to cut right to the chase. Here's the score. It was 6-1. It's real ugly. This kind of performance is unacceptable against a team like the Boston Bruins, and we learned that tonight. We learned that it's easy to beat Buffalo, even if you don't play your best, because they didn't play their best in the shutout the other night. You know, you can even get by some other teams here, but Boston is a whole different animal. Boston's a real team, and it took them a couple of games to figure it out. Took a couple of games to get their feet under them. The Flyers saw a real team tonight, and the Bruins are still very rough. We're still very early in the season. There was no preseason. The Bruins are still a very rough version of themselves, but tonight we saw a team that knows how to go out there and win. Go out there and win. Brad Marchand played a good game. Patrice Bergeron played a good game. They both had a couple of goals. Charlie Coyle played a huge game. He had a goal. The Bruins were a better team tonight, and that's a shame. That makes yesterday's game even more of a shame because you had a 2-0 lead and a 3-1 lead in the third period, and you blew that game. And that looks way worse. That you didn't get 2 points last night looks way worse when you get 0 tonight. And not only do you get 0 tonight, you looked bad. Flyers looked bad. They did not deserve to be within 5 goals in this game. This game could have been 10-1, and the score would be a little more appropriate. Carter Hart did not play well. Nobody played well. Nobody played well. In terms of Flyers who had a decent game, who were okay, Oscar Lindblom played all right. Ivan Provorov looked good for most of the game, although he didn't necessarily have the best game overall. Kevin Hayes was probably your best forward. Again, he wasn't very good. He had your goal, obviously, but he was providing kind of a lot of your pressure, a lot of your offensive zone possession time, a lot of that was Kevin Hayes, and that's about it. And the rest of the team was pretty god-awful. It was really a piss-poor performance. And Alain Vigneault has some work to do. And we saw him juggle the lines a little bit. And we saw some different lines working in towards the end of the game. And who knows what we'll see against New Jersey in a couple of days. And thank God you have New Jersey in a couple of days. But you got a couple of days to practice. Hopefully figure out a little bit of what went wrong. Obviously, a lot went wrong if you lose a game 6-1. But you got to figure it out. And you have until Tuesday. So you're probably going to get one practice in tomorrow. We'll probably talk about it on the show at YWT Podcast. Make sure to follow this channel. You'll see it. They probably have one practice. And there's a lot to figure out. Power play looked bad. Penalty kill looked bad. 5-on-5 looked bad. Odd man rushes looked bad. Offense looked bad. Defense looked bad. The team looked bad, man. And sometimes that's all there is to it. Sometimes you don't deserve to win a hockey game. Tonight's Philadelphia Flyers certainly did not deserve to win this hockey game. There's really not a whole lot more to say, honestly. I'm going to be real with you guys. The fights are on in about 15 minutes, and I'm way more invested now because this Flyers team hasn't given me a reason to care about them tonight. They didn't care about this game. They looked like they were trying to finish this game so they could go watch the fights back in the locker room. Difference is they're professional athletes and get paid to be on the ice. The Flyers didn't earn my attention tonight, and I gave it to them for the most part. I was watching the fights. I'm not going to lie to you. But, man, it got a lot easier to tune out of the game in the third period because the team didn't show up. And that team the team that showed up tonight can't show up on Tuesday because New Jersey will beat you. They're not great. They're going to be at the bottom of the standings this year more than likely in the East Division. But if you play like you played tonight, you lose to New Jersey. And I know I've talked about this in most of these videos, but when we're talking about a 56-game schedule, you can't afford to throw away points. Flyers threw away 1 point last night. They threw away 2 points today. The fact you were 1-1 most of the way through the second period in this game. You had a chance. Or I'm sorry. Kevin Hayes scored early in the second. Then a minute 16 later, Craig Smith responds. And that's it. Like, if Flyers played all right in the first period, you're hanging around. You didn't play great, but it's a 1-goal game. Patrice Bergeron scores on the power play. It happens, no problem. Kevin Hayes scores a minute 14 into the second period. Boom, here you go. We're rolling. And then that was it. That was the Flyers' last gasp. A minute 16 later, Craig Smith. And that's it. That's all she wrote. It was all Bruins from there on out. And that'll do it. You know, when you're playing a team like the Bruins, you don't get multiple opportunities. And when the window slams shut, it's done. And that happened tonight. And the Flyers have another chance on Tuesday. But until then, give us a follow here. There'll be a new podcast tomorrow night. I have a feeling Kevin's going to have a lot of things to say. So make sure you come here and check it out at YWT Podcast on Twitter. Kevin is at Kevin_Durso. Show can be found everywhere. We're distributed through Sports Talk Philly. Stuff's on the screen at the bottom, sportstalkphilly.com. It's not a good effort. And to beat teams like the Boston Bruins, you need effort. I know that sounds silly, but poor effort, poor execution, poor everything. They got to get it fixed in a hurry. See you guys.